I've spoken with spirits for as long as I can remember. It's not a talent I ask for, nor one I particularly enjoy. But when the dead whisper, I listen. As a child, I would have imaginary friends, but it started to be more obvious as a preteen. When the line blurred between the waking world and the unknown realm of sleep, I would hear voices, urgent and needy to be heard, one on top of the other vying for my attention. I ran away from it as I became more conscious of my ability. The impossibility of it scared me and branded me as an outsider. Eventually, I learned to embrace it and help those in need of a medium in supernatural occurrences. That's why I found myself standing in the skeletal remains of an old Irish manor, its stone walls crumbling, the roof long devoured by time. The place had no official name, just the house on the hill. Locals refused to go near it. They whispered about things that moved in the ruins, of shadows that didn't belong. That's exactly why I had come. As I stepped over the threshold, my breath clouded in the air, though it wasn't cold. The silence wasn't natural, it was thick, pressing, like the house itself was holding its breath. I ran my fingers along the charred stone. Fire had taken this place long ago, yet the scent of burning wood still lingered. Then, the whispers began. Soft at first, like wind threading through trees, but no wind moved in these ruins. The voices were close, too close. You shouldn't be here. The voice was a child's. I turned, scanning the darkened corners where moonlight barely touched. Nothing. Just the remains of an ancient fireplace and the twisted skeleton of a staircase. Why not? I asked aloud. Silence. Then a new voice. Older, hoarse, like a man with too much smoke in his lungs. He watches. A prickle ran down my spine. I knew better than to ignore a warning from the dead. Who watches? The shadow stretched unnaturally. From the corner of my eye, something moved. Just a flicker, like a figure shifting in the dark. Then came the sound. A low scraping, like nails dragged across stone. From above, I glanced up. There was no roof, only open sky. Yet the sound continued, circling above me. Footsteps, heavy, deliberate. Then they stopped, right behind me. I turned sharply. The ruins were empty, but the air was different, thicker, colder. A shape loomed where there had been nothing before. A figure, just barely visible, standing in the darkest corner, its aura making me rethink my intent on being here. I tried to speak, but my throat clenched shut. The child's whisper returned, urgent, run. I took a step back. The figure moved forward, slowly. Its face was a void, an absence of light. And then, it spoke. Stay. Play. The voice was wrong. Not human, not spirit. Something deeper, older. It slithered through the air, curling around me like smoke. The child's voice was frantic now. Run. I stumbled back, feet catching on loose stones. The figure surged forward. The ground beneath me felt suddenly wrong, not solid, as if I was standing on something that pulsed, something that breathed. The house groaned. The walls trembled. And then, a hand, a real physical hand, gripped my wrist, ice-cold, skin like wet paper. I gasped, yanking away. My wrist raw with 3 ragged, deep scratches, wet with my blood. Drop after drop fell on the stone floor. I stopped, and with the help of my curated blood I yelled, Satanas et omnes spiritus malos, fugite. The ruins shuddered, and suddenly the figure was gone. The pressure in the air lifted, the whispers silenced. I stood there, heart hammering, staring at the empty space where it had been. Then I saw it, etched into the stone floor, barely visible beneath the grime. A name, half burned, almost erased by time. Fiacre O'Dowd, the last owner of the house. The man who, according to legend, had burned his family alive inside these very walls. The locals had been right to stay away. I turned and left, never looking back. But even as I reached the safety of my car, the child's final whisper followed me. He knows your name now. He likes how you taste. Spirits talk, and they have warned me. He knows my name. He will find me. He will come for me. He is eager to torture me and make me bleed. Burn me when he is done with me. At night, when the connections are the strongest, I listen, waiting to hear his voice once again, or even for a clue of his whereabouts. I guess time will tell.